In many Native American traditions and mindsets, hair holds memories. And sometimes when we want to change, it's time to do a chop. Like hair, our writing also holds memories. Let's have a chat. Welcome to another episode of Oh My God, Jenna actually did it. Yeah, I used to have to do this to get to the end of my hair. Hello there, everybody. My name is Jenna O'Malley. I am your soul writer, author of sci-fi fantasy with dashes of romance and nerdy references such as The Myrna Annals, a dark epic romantasy adventure with swashbuckling, sword and sorcery, and found families that are just as important as the love of your life and your soulmate. So, welcome on in. We are vlogging, finally. I took a break because things are going on in life, and it's a time of change. So, why not mark it with a little bit of a change? A lot of you are like, Jenna, your hair doesn't look that much shorter. It is. It is. I gotta actually stretch to grab my hair. Mind you, my hair was down to here. Most of you probably did not know that, but my hair was down to here. So the 10-inch chop was on purpose for multiple reasons. The number 10 means a lot of things, and a lot has happened in the last 10 years, and just like hair, just like I said earlier, our writing holds memories, and I've been working over the last 6 months to really iron out everything I had written over like a 2-year period to revise, edit, and publish it. And I'm coming across so many emotions and things that I explored through my characters, while I also have been healing and growing over the last couple of years. And I just finished writing Pearl and Gold, which was a short story from Slices and Sheets, one of the spin-offs of season 1, that kind of fills in the gaps of what happens between book 1 through 4's main couples and a little bit of book 5's couples, not as many shorts, but just kind of what happens after season 1, and a little bit for Hatomi and Gorgor's section, a little bit of after season 2, because of how book 5 ends, and that's the only spoiler I'm going to give you. But I'm coming across these emotions that I forgot I explored in some of these short stories, and Pearl and Gold was meant to be a longer short story from Neftiri's point of view of what is it like adapting to living in basically Jamaica versus Europe. And I mean, she was born, over in Alexandria in the Mother Nile area. So the heat doesn't bother her. The humidity, on the other hand, that's a different story. We will get into jokes about the difference between a humid heat and a dry heat in season 2. Just saying. Yeah, romantic references included. Anywho, I do have cat shifters. Okay, Jenna. Focus, Fox. Focus, Fox. So I'm coming across moments that are, making me giggle, but also with Neftiri are making me realize how much she and I have grown since I started taking this whole author thing seriously when the world changed almost exactly 5 years ago. I saw a quote on social media that said something to the effect of, the world stopped being normal March 2020, about 5 years ago. And I'm like, oh, good Lord, if that was normal, I do not want to go back. And a lot of those kind of themes are coming up in Pearl and Gold of Neftiri misses Europe. She misses what was left behind. They are healing from this long, drawn-out war with the Hunters. guild that has been going on since before she was born, and mind you, she was born in the year 300, and it's now pushing 1700 and something. So, Our Lady is now no longer 1300 and some years old, Ian. She's 1400 and some years old. And, she's seen a lot, and she's learning how to live in a world that no longer has magic. Not, like, casting magic. And she's learning that there are different types of magic out there still. There's the magic of the fact that she and her found family of merry misfits are allowed to be a found family somewhere. And they find this village of people on this island that Ian takes them to because he's been there before. He's a sailing merchant. He has good ties with the locals from trading, and he says, I know that at least in the short term they'll help us. And they end up saying, look, we'd rather work with you than work with your cousins. You know your cousins, and boy does he know more about his cousins now than he wants to know, thanks to the Hunters Guild and the Sinclair clan from Scotland. Anyway, go read season 1. And the locals very much teach the Myrna as humans that we do have a kind of our own magic. And it goes very much into my Native American roots that are largely cut off from me. I do have a grandmom who is full-blooded on one side. I've never met her. My actually great-grandmom. And I've never met her, and I just know it's there. It's a part of me I've always wanted to prove exists so that I can reconnect to those roots. And then, of course, it's a very Irish mindset, and many of you know. The box dye red hair and my likeness to pay homage to one pirate queen, Grace O'Malley, with my last name, and in part with a future character. Spoiler there with that upcoming spinoff. Another redhead, actually, of course. Someone you love. And she, I gotta start noticing that very Irish, know your roots, is very important, but I also have to acknowledge that a lot of people in my family whom are Irish did not leave Ireland of their own free will. What I do know about the Irish side is very stereotypical, what you would think. A lot of the Irish side of my family came here through the indentured servitude camps out of Georgia and Virginia. So they weren't slaves, but they weren't treated much better either. I will say that as far as what I know about my family's history in this country has been very stereotypical Irish. What you hear about, happened to people in my family apparently. Plus, of course, we've got that Native American side bred back pretty deep in, I'm told. And both sides of the family growing up, those influences of your connection to your roots matter, but also the connection to the magic of the people around you, the magic of who can you trust and who is really there for you, and can you heal yourself for yourself first and as a benefit to others instead of the other way around. Those themes get very much touched upon in Pearl and Gold. There's a local grandmotherly figure who's kind of like what Neftiri's grandmother Magdalena was to all Myrna. She's very, let's give this a Grandmother Willow kind of reference. She's very, here's a really good reference. She is very the character Maggie Smith played from Downton Abbey when she needs to be. I'm gonna lay you out flat and tell you how it is, Cousin Violet level. Okay? And she does it from a genuine place, this grandmother figure does, of the local tribe in Jamaica. She does this from that very stereotypical grandmotherly place of, I'm not going to fix you, but I am going to teach you to fix yourself. And the more I write, the more I feel like my characters are grandmothering me. It took us 10 minutes to get to this point. On the recording timer, I cut 10 inches from my hair. That makes sense. 10:10 on the timer even. So it is a completion stage. Am I at the completed level? No, Mario. We're on like world 1 of 8. Minimum. If you count N64, it's like world 1 of question mark, depending on how many times you go in after the stars. Anyway, I very much have learned more about myself as a person by either standing up at this point, because I have 2 standing desk options. Accordion desk. So I can be here, that's what I'm usually using when I'm streaming and stuff, or I can be over there. Standing or sitting, it doesn't matter. I'm still learning more about me than I ever have. I'm getting back to who I am. College me is really, really impressed with the new production board that's behind me. Oh my god, I feel so nerdy. I actually had to make spreadsheets about stuff that wasn't numbers for once. My fellow teachers in chat, you understand what I mean by that, Data. Anyway, so I've gotten more writing, more plotting, more editing done in the last 6 months than I have in the last 10 years. In March 2020, when they told us you get a bonus week of spring break, I said, knowing my luck, that's all it's going to be. We'll go back. They gave us a full month. Teacher senses are tingling. Something ain't right here. And that's when I started getting bored. And when they told us you have the whole remainder of the 4th 9 weeks off. We were told to go ahead and give all of our kids who had gotten their grade from the 3rd 9 weeks, if essentially just consider that the average of their 4th 9 weeks grade. I was at one of those schools. I was not a fan of it. I had to do what I was told to do to keep my job. So I very much started a journey back into who I am that spring. And a lot has happened along the way since. I conceived my first child. Got to know the glory of carrying them for 10 weeks. Cutting the hair that I had while pregnant is also a part of that healing process now. Cutting the hair takes my hair back to looking more like it did when I was in college. When I was doing, up until now, the most writing of my life. Not only was I writing fan fiction galore, not only was I working on drafting plays as part of my minor in theater, I was also in multiple literature classes and linguistics classes where all we did was essays. I write now more than I ever did as a teacher of writing. And it feels so good to heal through it all. And it feels so good to know that now more than ever, our voices therefore matter. Every word you lay down, whether you intend it or not, is a step on some sort of healing journey for an inner facet of yourself somewhere. Keep going. You've always mattered. And dang it, you have value. Therefore, so does your voice.